Welcome back to the channel, guys. So today we have another interesting discussion to share with you guys, and today we are looking at purchasing land in Jamaica. We are looking at the different costs associated for both the buyer and the seller.
All right. I think this is really a pertinent discussion because there are many times when persons attempt to purchase land, but they are just focusing on the selling price. So they know the selling cost and they think that having the knowledge of the selling cost, they are ready to purchase the land. But there are additional costs that we must be aware of. And this is important for both the buyer and the seller. As the buyer, you will be more prepared. And as the seller, you too will be more prepared to deal with the costs and you will have a better understanding of the profit that you will make.
We have prepared a presentation for you guys, so sit back, relax, and enjoy. Alright? So first, let's look at the buyer. Let's say a person wants to buy a piece of land in Jamaica for $5 million. What are the costs associated with the sale? Now, the cost can be broken down into three sections or three types. So you have the government fees. These are the fees that you pay to the government. The legal fees. These are the fees that you pay to your lawyer. And three, you have the professional services. So if you have to engage a land surveyor or anybody like that. So one of the first ones you would need to pay is the stamp duty. And note, you'll pay half the stamp duty as the buyer. Now, stamp duty in Jamaica is $5,000. It's a fixed cost. Therefore, you as a buyer would end up paying $2,500, right? Another government fee that you'd have to pay is half of the title registration fee, which is 0.5% of the sale price. However, because you're paying half of that fee, you'd pay 0.25% of the sale price. So we are looking at about 12,500 Jamaican dollars. Now, this concludes the government fees. So next we move to like the legal fees. Now, the legal fees, under the legal fees, you have the sales agreement, the preparation of the letters, and the attorney's costs. Now, for the sales agreement, you would pay, as a buyer, you would pay half of the sales agreement costs, as well as half of the cost to prepare the letters. Now, the attorney costs, that's a cost you would agree with your lawyer. That would be the fee for the use of the lawyer. You should note that these fees, and these legal fees, work out to approximately 3% of the cost for the land. So at 3%, we are looking at about $150,000. Now, the next set of fees that you need to pay is the professional service fees. So we are looking at a surveyor's fee. This is probably the cost to prepare the surveyor's ID, which is approximately, let's say, $40,000, because this again is a variable cost. So you would have to agree this cost with your land surveyor. Then you have to pay a valuator. Now, if for example you're going through a financial institution, they would ask you to get the evaluation done on the property. So this again is an approximated cost and should be somewhere around $40,000. So now the total right here, total fees that you'd end up paying is about $245,000. However, usually the seller may ask for a deposit on the land. Now, the deposit can be anywhere between 5 to 10%. Most times, the seller would require 10%. For example, if you're going through NHT, they may only require 5%, but require you pay 5%. But most times the seller would require probably 10%. Now, with this 10%, you see that it's about $500,000 added to your total fees of $2,500. So now you have a total upfront cost of $745,000. So if you were to buy a piece of land in Jamaica that costs $5 million, you will need $745,000 in cash upfront in order to start processing that land. Now, let's look at the seller.
Alright, so with the seller, we're working with the same cost of sale, $5 million. And again, we have our government taxes, our government fees that we must pay. And the first one is the stamp duty. We pay half the stamp duty, and as was explained a while ago, the current stamp duty is $5,000. So paying half of that would mean that you're paying $2,500. Half the title registration fee again. That too is set at 0.5%. So you are paying 0.25% because you're only paying half. And we work that out when we are focusing on the baseline cost of $5 million, and that would work out to $12,500. There is an additional fee that you as the seller must pay, and you will bear this cost all alone. And that's 2% of the sale price. That is the full transfer tax. So transfer tax is a fee that only the seller pays. That fee is 2% of the total sale price, and here it is working out to $100,000. Alright, I think that concludes our government taxes and government fees. Now we are looking at the legal fees, and as was explained a while ago, you now will pay half sales agreement, half preparation of letters, half full attorney costs. You are paying for your attorney. You are only paying half the preparation of the letter, while the buyer's attorney will pay the other half, and the same with the sales agreement. Now that too would amount to approximately 3% of the sale price. Here it's $150,000. I want you to also understand that some persons will break out legal fee costs. So you will see them put a cost for the sales agreement, a cost for the letters, a cost for miscellaneous, a cost for the attorney. But generally, all of these will account for about 3% of the total sale price. So we're looking right here at about $265,000. So that's a cost that the seller will have to bear. But there are times when the transaction is done by a realtor. So if you've used the service of a realtor, then you have to pay the commission, and the commission would be 5%. Generally, they're about 5%. So that would work out to about $250,000. So if I am selling land for $5 million in Jamaica, then and I'm using the service of a realtor, then I might want to have about $515,000 in hand to do that transaction.
There you have it, guys. Those are the costs associated with doing land transaction in Jamaica. Now, I'd like to point out that the deposit is not an additional cost to the buyer, but it's an upfront cost that the buyer would have to pay.
I also want to stress the fact that these costs are not exact. These are not the exact costs that you'd be expected to pay, but this video should give you a general idea of what is expected.
Yes. So if you guys found this video interesting, don't forget to like the video, comment on the video, subscribe to the channel, and share the video with your friends. So until next time, keep the dream alive.
Bye.